Computer audio. There we go. I'm in action. 2 minutes early tonight. How's everybody doing? We're not gonna get started early, but we'll wait for the others to show up. We'll let people trickle in. Everybody's having a good week? No,
Yeah,
I
it's been great. I took the kids to the zoo today.
you went to the zoo?
Yeah, it's really cold. Well, I didn't say it's really cold here because that would make everybody else in the United States feel bad. It was like in the 30s this morning. But we went to the zoo because our kids have a break today.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'll get all my screens
Yeah,
going.
got some steps in.
Steps at the zoo, can't complain about that.
Hmm?
Good. Who else got some had a good day? Set all my screens up.
Always have a good day, man. Always.
Todd, I like your style.
It
Hey,
is finally not freezing, so I can
what?
run outside
Well, it's
and
a
it's
very nice
glorious.
hat you have on, ma'am.
I wear this hat, and you know what? This hat hangs out through the dish or the washing machine, and it's great. It is never deformed. It holds up,
You know,
and you can just hang it to dry. But I'm going on mute so people don't think I'm having a heart attack.
when everybody said they wanted a little bit of merch, I couldn't go with and I gave those out. I didn't charge for those. I went branded bills. I'm like, I gotta get a good
I
hat.
gotta
I'm
get
not
a
gonna
good
get a
hat.
cheap one. That's gonna be crap. So I'm happy. I'm
Dude,
very
this
happy with them.
this hat, like I wear it every day to the gym.
Good. I like that. I appreciate the support. Good people still
Michelle,
checking in.
Michelle, you're looking good.
She
It
always
just
looking
feels
good.
so good to be outside.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to figure out how you were Instagram messaging me while you're on your run. Are you just multitasking the whole way through or yeah, we'll let her keep
Yeah,
running.
I just sent you a message. Oh no, I sent that like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, you weren't running at that point?
No, no.
We're gonna talk nutrition today, and her message is really on point because last week we got some troubling news in my household. I might have mentioned this on another call. They all started to blend eventually. We got some troubling news in the household. We went to the vet, and my dog, he's obese. So all 12 pounds of him, the vet said he is obese and he needs to lose weight. So we've been doubling down on walks. And Michelle said that he's going to be on a Sarah McLaughlin. I told the missus I gave Sarah McLaughlin Coda's information. Help is on the way. So he's one of the underfed animals in the world, apparently. He is not happy. He is just fluffy, but apparently 12 pounds is too fluffy for a Pomeranian. They're not happy about it.
So, funny story about that. Our female is pregnant, so she's having puppies,
I saw
and she is normally like 58 to 62 pounds, and she is now 66 pounds. So, before we know for sure, I told her, I said, if you're not having puppies, you have to go on a diet. But she's having puppies, so she's
he's
safe.
having six, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we're at least six. We will find out for sure on the 9th of March. They'll do an x-ray to get an idea of exactly how many. Since it's their first litter, they want us to know a better idea of how many.
That's awesome. You could bring one to me. I'll take it.
That would be all right. We actually already have 3 sold, so that's huge.
Okay. Well, you could drop one off in Orlando.
Okay.
Two.
2.
Yep, people are claiming them. You know, Tasha said, did you know that for small dogs, every pound overweight is like 30 on a human? I started thinking about it that way, and I was like, yeah, for his size, like 2 pounds is substantial. So I got to get him to 10. We've been doubling down on walks, portion control, literally all the stuff I'm probably going to talk about tonight on nutrition is what he's going through. A lack of treats, which some of y'all been complaining about. Todd said he was having a good week. Todd, congrats on the retirement.
Thank you.
You made it. Go Cats.
My official last day will be March 20th. So
You just threw the party early.
they threw the party early because some people were in from out of town.
You ready to get the hell out of Dodge, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, so I'm going to run Princess, and then when I run Springtime, my Springtime surprise, I'll be celebrating my retirement.
I love it. He's ready to go. Now you can
ready.
fully dedicate all your time to being,
Exactly.
being a BA.
That's
You don't
that's
know when.
actually part of the plan. Yeah, that's number one thing I'm going to be doing.
Just working on you.
Just working on me.
I like it. Good for you.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, Daniela?
Yeah, that was me.
What'd you say?
That was me.
What'd you say?
No, I just went hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna dive right in tonight. I'll get us going. We did a little small talk. I'll hopefully save some room at the end. We'll talk nutrition tonight. I'll put everybody on mute, but hit the chat. You can come off mute whenever you want. If you have questions along the way. Again, just like the strength one, I've revamped this one a few times. I like the current version. I like where I ended up with. Let's see, mute, but I can see everybody. Yes, allow participants to unmute themselves. Nutrition 101. Cover the basics tonight. I'll break everything down. Definitely not gonna chat about detoxes, the trends, the short-term fixes. I will probably at some point touch on various diets out there because there's a lot of different ones, and I think a lot of the information is confusing. Tonight we'll really just focus on how the body uses energy, how the nutrients influence recovery performance, and how we align that with your goals, which I'm probably going to reference a few people on here that I coach on the regular because, everybody's experience kind of comes into play on that. And I'm a firm believer that it's not a discipline thing, it's just clarity. There's so much confusion in the damn space that it's overwhelming. So if you could start to just understand how the calories work, the macronutrients work, it stops feeling stressful and emotional, and it feels more strategic. Goal tonight, just get everybody understanding about nutrition, and then on Thursday call we just break it down even more, keep chopping it down. And the big thing for me is performance as well. A lot of people on here, Michelle is running right now. A lot of people have running goals, but also weight loss goals. So sometimes those kind of go against each other. We want to lose weight, but we got to make sure we're fueling enough to run. So it's a delicate balance, and finding the right spot for your particular body. So especially don't compare your calories to anybody else. And the regulations around nutrition and labeling don't help. Thank you, Miss Kim, our resident food scientist in the house. But starting nutrition actually is. I'm going to try not to use the D word, even though the D word will come out. Diet is going to come out, not a diet. But I try to boil it down. It's supplying energy and nutrients to support your body. So tissue repair, hormone production, function up here, brain function. I know. Well, let's touch on the first diet. If anybody's ever done keto before, I've done keto. You tend to get a little brain fog when you start, and the brain gets a little fuzzy and you're a little out of it. Why certain nutrients are important for brain function, movement, recovery. We're constantly trying to just balance energy in versus energy out. And at the end of the day, that should be the biggest driver on what makes the scale move. Are we burning more than we're taking in? That should get things moving. But there's so many other little factors along the way. Muscle breakdown versus muscle building, recovery versus stress. The big bad H word that everybody hates, hormones. Um, but your meals tend to send a signal, and it's either, build muscle, maintain where I'm at, or conserve energy. Conserve. So who feels restricted on their current eating plan? You could say it, raise a hand. Nobody. We eat whatever we want. I like
I have a question.
Go for it.
I don't feel restricted per se. I feel like I'm usually feeling full enough, but sometimes I've been feeling lately, since obviously my overall goal is like to improve the quality of my food in general, as well as, gain muscle and things like that. But sometimes I feel like I'm prioritizing protein so much that I'm unprioritizing like fruits and vegetables. So I
Always
don't know
have
if you
fruits and
can
veggies.
speak about that a little bit.
Always have fruits and veggies. Every single one of those plates up there is loaded with veggies. And it's probably because, I'm going to get into protein in a little bit, but protein is very filling. It's very satiating. And there's a side benefit, especially like, I'm working on with somebody one on one, and we go from 80 grams to 100 grams to 120 grams, and they start getting fuller on protein, what do you think they start doing a little less of? You start snacking a little less on the other stuff. Veggies take place in that too, because the broccoli helps fill you up. So if I'm full up on the broccoli and the protein, I'm less likely to grab some of the other junk out there. But definitely still get your veggies. Still get, I won't even I have a veggie with every my go-to broccoli and asparagus. Those numbers I actually do not track. I will track it if it is a starchy veggie like a potato, but other than that, I don't weigh out the veggies. I don't stress them out because the calories, the nutritional benefit outweighs the calories. So get your veggies in. That's your homework. Hopefully that answers hopefully I clarify some more of that as we get going through it. I rarely track.
Yeah, I think it's just the fullness issue because like I used to have like for lunch, sometimes I would have like a big broccoli salad. It would be like a ton of broccoli, half an apple, like some walnuts, and then protein also. But like I'm really focusing on the protein so much right now that I think I can't have that much
You're
broccoli
filling
anymore
up.
because I'm just so full.
You're filling up. All right. Make sure.
So are you saying we don't have to track our vegetables?
I personally don't. Now, overall, if it is a more calorie dense vegetable, then I would say do it. But broccoli, spinach, kale, asparagus, they're not gonna really break. There's fiber in there. There's a lot of nutrients. I think you got to look at the grand scheme of things. These are things you want in your body. Broccoli salad is not something
Okay.
in my vocabulary. Yeah, these are things you want to get in. And hopefully that side result of all that fibrous food plus the protein, when 8 o'clock at night hits and that craving is like, oh, I want to I just want to dive in on some ice cream. Hopefully you're already full and you're like, nope, I just move away from that. I don't track veggies either. I don't track veggies either. That's not what made me fat. I really like that comment, Val, because there's a lot of people in the nutrition space right now and fitness influencers because I go down flipping rabbit holes all the time that are demonizing fruits. And oh no, you can't get lean on fruits. No, you got to get fruits that has too much sugar. And yes, there's a balance. Like, if you're eating, you're gonna get. I don't know anybody. I've never met anybody that gained weight. I don't like the F word too much, the fat word, but I don't know anybody that ever got fat on fruit. And I think I said that last week. Like, it's just, it's not happening. So I'm gonna make sure I stay on top of these comments tonight. Restricted, and my medication kills my appetite as it is. I love me some fruit, berries with every breakfast. If if I were to show you a picture of my dad, he's 60, mid to late 60s, somewhere around the mid 60s. I should know that. And every morning it's like before the sunrise, a bowl of yogurt with a bunch of different fruits, and he is very big on getting the antioxidants in and all right, getting all the different vitamins and minerals. He likes to start his day like that, and he, he he's in great shape for 65. No, not to say he can't be, but I aspire to be like that, be like him. Does it change things like broccoli if it's cooked versus raw? Been hearing a lot of good things about having them cooked. I've been hearing cooked is always going to be better, so I lean that way. I'm not a huge raw fan. Not a huge raw fan, Mr. Kevin. But if that's how you get them in and you hate them the other way, come on, you got to look at it that way. Whenever I'm sick, I get a smoothie, and my instant reaction is, dang, I shouldn't have this much fruit and carbs. But then I remember it won't destroy me. I've always been told fruit was bad for us. We have Cool Whip and berries for dessert all the time. Raw is better from a micronutrient standpoint. However, you're still going to get great benefits either way. Kim, food scientist coming through. Yeah, you are cooking some of those micronutrients out. That makes sense. Roll of calories. I'm going to keep rolling. Calorie at the end of the day, it's a unit of energy. So, anybody know, except for Kim, what your total daily energy expenditure kind of encompasses? What things fall into that category? Watching the chat. TDEE. Basic life functions and activity. Everything you do, even breathing. So the basic one, the very boom, Danielle got it. That's the first one. Basal metabolic rate. What your metabolism is, what your set point's at, where you're at. Other things on top of that. Danielle, let's see if you can get 2 or 3 more. Looking at my chat box. I'll just go with it. Non-exercise movement. So walking the dog like I just did. My steps were slacking today. We took him for a long walk. I was at 6,500 steps. I'm at 9,500. So almost 3,000 steps on our walk. That's why you see so many people pushing 10,000 steps a day, 12,000 steps a day. It's why we started last week with a little step mini challenge to get everybody going, get you moving a little more than you were before. So non-exercise movement. Even Sundays when I'm feeling lazy, like cleaning the house, I still get like 10,000 steps just back and forth, moving and grooving. So all that comes lawn work, yard work, Joe shoveling the snow. Oops, you didn't miss it. It was right on your calendar. You checking them off. Structured exercise. That's what we're doing. If it's running, lifting, any kind of exercise, it could be aerial silks. That was just the one on the check mark that you did on your thing. It wasn't like a mini challenge. It was just getting points for the main challenge. Bike rise. I'll take that. And then thermic effective food. Thermic effective food is very small in the grand scheme of things, but that is the basically energy expended by digesting the food. Protein, a little harder to digest. Your body has to work harder to digest it. So it pipes your metabolism up just a little bit, but more protein adds to that. If your calories are constantly below expenditure, your weight should decrease unless something else is wrong. If it's above, it should increase. If they match, it should stabilize. So that tells me if we're not going anywhere, if we're not moving up or down on the scale, we found your maintenance. Now we just got to reduce from there. If you want to lose weight, build from there if you want to gain weight. I'm doing the most terrifying thing in my life right now. I don't know if she's on here. I am taking my wife through a bulk. It's the first time she's done that. She wants to actively gain muscle. And I told her we got to find your maintenance first. So we spent December, most of January, just getting her to a set point. Oh, she is on here. Hey, hon. She is on here. We got her to a set point December and January. And now I've increased her calories into a surplus. I'm being very conservative because it's the most terrifying thing to be told. Your wife wants to gain weight, help her with that. So I'm got her about 250 calories above maintenance, but come March, you're probably going up by 500. And her goal right now is to gain muscle, to actively just try to build up muscle and ramp up her metabolism. We'll see how it works. You owe me before and after, well, before pictures, Mrs. Tom. But the body tends to adapt. So if we go way too large of a calorie cut, it can lead to reduced movement, increased hunger hormones. So if we cut too deep, too fast, it gets a little tricky there. So a lot of people, the first instinct is to cut, especially when you get a big win. Scale went down 4 pounds this week. Wow, awesome. That's fantastic. It's not the norm. 1 to 2 pounds would be great as well. But if the scale dropped 4 pounds, most people say, hey, what if we drop it a little more? What if we cut the calories a little more? You can only dig a hole so deep. So we don't want to keep digging, digging, digging. The worst fights of my marriage were trying to teach my wife to lift. Um, Unless your body adapts, no matter what you do. And Melissa, we kind of talked about that on your one-on-one call where I think, I'll talk a little bit about metabolic adaptation tonight, but I think that's after our initial call. That might be where we're at. So perfect example of everyone is in a very different spot. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Let's see. What determines calorie needs? This was the most varied picture I could find. Every time I found a variety of people looking fit, there was no men in the photo. So sorry, boys. We got a good variety of fit looking people here. What determines the calorie needs? So, or no, yeah. Body size and muscle mass, age and sex, training volume, daily movement, stress, recovery, but also, you know, hormonal state. So sorry, women and men. Actually, I shouldn't just say women because men, if your testosterone's in the tank, it is going to be a lot. Your body's going to need less calories, so it's going to be harder for you to build muscle. So one thing I do, I'd recommend anybody get your hormones checked. If you have the opportunity, get your hormones checked. Make sure everything is aligned. As we get older, things start to be a little less aligned. I've got a handful of people I work with that are on hormone replacement therapy, men and women. And if nothing else was clicking and they went and did that and the doctor, took them through the journey there, almost always the needle has started moving after that. And we found, hey, yeah, something was just wrong with the testosterone or the estrogen or any of that. Um, Needs are not fixed for everybody. This shifts as the training shifts. Multiple people I work with just went through their first dopey. Need more calories when you're running your, 26.2 miles for the first time, let alone also 48.6. So again, do not compare yourself to anybody. Don't look at somebody else's calorie needs as 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 your own. Like I have just started my cut and my current calories are at 3,800. So that's coming down from about 4,300 at maintenance, which I was trying to eat through the holidays. It's a full-time job trying to eat at that rate. She gets very Elizabeth's freaking out. But I have a lot, a vastly different amount of muscle than probably a lot of people on this call, maybe two or three, probably at that same level of muscle. I'm gonna say 100 last in-body scan I did was about 120 pounds of muscle on my body. So to maintain that muscle, I have to take in a good amount of calories. Plus, I was doing marathon training. I was doing dopey training. I have a very high training volume. I train 6 days a week, and today, 9,500 steps right now is the bottom of the barrel for me. So again, we got to make sure we're comparing apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Everybody's different. My stress and recovery could use a little better work, but there's just certain things that everybody's a little different. And we're going to look at baseline versus lifestyle needs, which is kind of what I'm talking about right now. Baseline metabolism doesn't include the workouts. So if you start training intensely, but you eat for baseline needs, the recovery is going to suffer. So you're not doing anything currently. You stay eating the same thing, and then you start training intensely, continue eating the same thing. You're going to notice you don't recover fast. I was a chronic undereater. I was at about 1,500 for a very long time until I had an eye-opening DEXA scan where I went to DEXA and I got a resting metabolic rate, and the numbers they showed me blew me out of the water. They were like, you need to be in 2,800 at maintenance, dude. Active job, active job at the time. I was moving a lot. I was probably around 20,000 steps a day. Active lifestyle, lifting. I spent the weekends walking around theme parks. They're like, you should probably be closer to 35 to 4,000. And it was like game changer when I started increasing the calories. So there ends up being just you get low energy availability just over time. Your hormones are going to get a little out of whack. Performance gets bad, and mood tends to go. I am either under eating or way overeating, one extreme or the other. Middle ground is my struggle point. I know, Tasha. I'm working on it with you. You're a work in progress, my friend. Has anybody ever increased calories or increased training while reducing calories? I'm a project. I know this. Are you more
What
than
was that? You broke up.
increased training while reducing calories?
Yeah,
I, f-
me.
I feel like I'm doing that right now, being you dropped my calories.
I did drop your calories.
I'm not starving yet, so we're good.
I don't want you starving at all, so keep me posted.
Okay.
Heather's got new goals. Okay, a lot of people. Yep, had no idea during dopey I needed to increase. And that's Charlotte, we started working on the tail end of your dopey journey. So we were tail end there. I'm lower than I was too. My runs tanked when I tried it on your own. That's where I'll tell everybody communicate. If you feel your recovery, that's something I don't want to. Recovery and performance is something I'll never sacrifice with somebody. I don't want, especially if you're training for your first marathon, Bob did it with 6 months of no weight loss. When Bob started, I think I told him the scariest thing he ever heard was we're going to increase your calories. We're going to increase your calories. And we went up a little bit and the scale started moving again. And then we just went up again a little bit and we're going to see how he reacts there. Tom, is that DEXA scan like bone density scan? DEXA scans bone density, it scans muscle mass, scans body fat. It breaks down segmental lean analysis. So it's going to tell you, your left arm has 20 pounds of muscle, but that was my right arm. Your right arm has 20 pounds of muscle, but your left arm only has 19. Okay, so I have an imbalance there. It's going to break down that whole thing. I feel like I'm missing something, but it does do bone density. Um, and then usually the DexaFit franchise, they have a resting metabolic rate, which is very, very eye-opening when people see that one. Did it 6 months, no weight loss. Optavia didn't, not good, didn't work out. And I've had a couple people, which is very, I'm gonna definitely go over on time tonight. Honey, don't start cooking yet. Optavia, not good, didn't work out. I've had a few people that did work out for it, and then when you come off, your body gets used to 600 or 800 calories, and your metabolism's in the tank. So you end up having to rebuild it. But if you don't know how to cut calories on the front end for the scale to go down, it's a lot harder to learn how to increase calories in a way where you don't put all that weight back on. So you stop doing Optavia, the hunger cravings come back in, the hormones start flickering, and you're just like, oh man, I want a cake. I know Claudia. Claudia loves some chocolate. She loves sweets. So I imagine the bounce back there gets a little crazy. I know it's just my scale, but my scale says I have 195.1 pounds of muscle. You son of a, ah, damn you, Bob. Is that DEXA all the same test? I've had a bone density, and now I need to know if I need to go study the results. I'll take a look, Dina. DEXA all comes on one sheet. It's one big. I wish I had mine. I'd pull it up, but it comes on one big sheet with a breakdown. Why I emphasize protein so much. So anybody anybody who trains, and that is running, it is lifting, it is swimming, any kind of training, I think it is Fat Tuesday. I think it's the foundation for anyone to train. So if you lift weights, you perform, a hard endurance session, you're basically, and this again, running, swimming, anything, you're going to create very small microscopic muscle damage. That is actually the goal. The goal, if you want to get a stimulus for growth. That little bit of microscopic muscle damage, that is the stimulus for growth. We break it down so we can rebuild it stronger. Now, if we're not getting enough protein, we're not giving the body enough raw materials to rebuild. So that growth, that rebuild part of it, that only happens if the raw materials are there. Those raw materials, amino acids. So protein gives you amino acids. Your body is going to constantly just balance muscle protein synthesis with muscle protein breakdown. So train intensely and you're going to get, it's going to synthesize temporarily. If the protein intake is low, breakdown starts exceeding the synthesis. So you're breaking down muscle faster than you can rebuild it. And I see this with a lot of people like, all right, I'm running this much. I'm looking at the activity level. I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. Even if they're not strength training right now, but I'm getting 40 grams of protein. I feel weak. I feel like I'm losing muscle. I don't like what I see in the mirror, even though I'm leaning out. I don't like what I'm seeing in the mirror. Well, yeah, you're breaking down, and you're not giving the body the bricks to rebuild the house. So we want to give it the tools to repair. So a lot of times that's how muscle loss ends up happening during your diet. So during cutting and that's probably the last thing when I'm cutting calories that I will dial down. If I want to dial things back, all right, I'm going to switch out that fatty beef right there for a little more of the chicken. I'm going to switch out that salmon for a little more of the shrimp and the egg. So, okay, I got the fat content down a little bit. I'm going to watch the carb content. But if I get enough protein, I can maintain as much of that muscle. And when you cut, and I'm talking a little more deep cut, you're almost guaranteed to lose a little bit of muscle in the process, but we want to offset that. So we want to get enough protein to repair, rebuild. And the reason for that, if we repair, rebuild the lean muscle mass, resting metabolism stays high, insulin sensitivity stays good, your recovery is going to feel good, so you're not feeling like crap. And then long term, we should see positive body composition changes with that. Kind of talked about it a little bit before, but that thermic effect of food, and Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim's story, not Mrs. Kim, Mrs. Muscle Mouse. You correct me if I'm wrong enough. Um, it's about 20 to 30% of the calories are used during digestion. So 20% of those calories are spent just pushing that food, digesting it and breaking it down. So your body's working to break it down, increased thermic effect, burning more calories at rest. Protein, again, we talked about this before too, increases satiety hormone. So you're less full, you start reducing cravings, win, win. Almost almost everybody I see right out the gate undereats protein. I think I blew some people's brains when I put their protein numbers out there. And a lot of time, just looking at the daily intake, it happens at breakfast and it happens at lunch. Dinner, most of the time your dinner's got one of those things up in that little picture up there, and it's easy to get there, but by that point, you're playing a catch-up game. So, all right, now I'm trying to get 80 grams at dinner because I'm behind. I was chronically low on protein. Luckily, Bob's been going over in protein. Jared, you can have some king cake tonight as long as you're feeling better, buddy. I'm okay with it. Catching up on those comments. Yeah, a lot of people just under eating because you miss out on breakfast and lunch. If I'm trying to get 220 to 240 grams, I have my protein shake in the morning with 20 grams. I throw 5 servings of egg whites in there. So my protein 20-gram shake tends to tune in around 45 grams, and that's before the sun's even up. Dietitian says I have to have half my carbs and protein by lunch. I love it. I'm low on everything good today, oddly, including water. Val, have a sip of water. It's okay to take a breather. Have a sip of water. So
It's been a day.
you got this, champion. You got this. Instead of just shooting for like the 80 grams at dinner, try to get a little bit throughout the day. Protein will not make you bulky unless you are in a substantial bulk. And Kim is going to be like, Kim, I need Kim wife. I'm going to refer to you as Kim wife and Kim story as we're on this call tonight. I need before pictures sooner rather than later because I want to just document your journey. And with her, we're actively trying to bulk, to gain muscle. And I'm going to show you actually how hard it is to put on substantial muscle in a 3 to 6 month time frame, however long she lets me keep her here. But the protein will protect the muscle. It's going to protect the metabolism. And if you're in a fat loss phase where you're trying to lose weight, protein is definitely more important. Is there a maximum number you should have in one meal? Like, is there a point where the body just ignores it and doesn't use it? There is a lot of bro science behind that says your body cannot absorb more than 20 to 30 grams of protein in a sitting. And a lot of that's been proving wrong because where the hell does it go? It's still in your system. It's still going to be digesting. But I would prefer, as for active people especially, it to be spread out across the day if you can. And you can ask the missus. I've eaten 3 meals in front of her. Somehow we both ended up at home today, and I ate 3 meals in front of her. And she's like, between the hours of 11 and 5 o'clock. And she's like, I just like to spread it out, keep it going. The whole you need to eat every 2 hours to keep your metabolism high, that's kind of debunked too. So it's just he's expensive to have around here. Eat a lot of protein. Ah, going back into that comment, don't trust the labels. They say good sources or excellent sources of protein. That is based on the RDA. Kim said, check the total amount of protein in a serving. My rule of thumb is to drop the zero on the total calories. Good source protein will be very close to that number. 110% agree.
A great source is going to be above that number.
Yep. And we're in a time where protein is finally getting its time in the sun, and everybody and their mother, wants to. I see Snickers Snickers with protein, and you look at it and it's 7 grams of protein in it, and they put that right on the front of the package. Now with 7 grams of protein, it always had 7 grams. It's got nuts in it. It's always had 7 grams, but it's got 280 calories. So 4 calories, 4 calories in a gram of protein, 7 times 4, what, 14, 28. I should not do math on the spot. 28 out of 240 calories in a Snicker. Is it really high protein if it's only 28 of the calories are from there? So try to look at it like that, and everything is high protein now. How much protein do you need? This one definitely, depends on body weight, training frequency, age, recovery demands. Older people should be getting more protein to maintain muscle mass. After the age of 50, we start losing muscle mass just regularly. It just happens naturally where it starts going down and down unless you do something about it, unless you work out and get enough protein. So you want to distribute it across the day. Don't try to be perfect, just be consistent. Rules of thumb, rules of thumb, zero point 0.8 at the minimum, up to anywhere up to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Now, your numbers might not have you there right now. Everybody's a little different. 0 0.8 to 1.2 grams. Another, if we're looking into things, we could set it at goal weight. Now, why would we not set it at goal weight for everyone? Well, if somebody's 300 pounds and their goal weight is 150 pounds, that's only 0.5. That's half. So we want to be closer to the mark and then start working it down there. So that's where we set mini goals along the way. We're at 300. Let's put a goal of 280 there, so that once we get to 280, we move down to 260 and so on. Baseball player who can eat 4 eggs at a time as a 9-year-old. Big trouble here. I like it. Oh yeah. Kim's got 2 offensive linemen living in her house right now. She's like the you like what's her name? The Blind Side mom. I forgot her name. Leanne something. I think. Luann. Somebody will let me know.
Chewy, except I'm not as problematic.
I do it based on goal weight because I can't eat 313 grams of protein no matter how much I like chicken. And yeah, there's room for interpretation there. You can, and that's where we adjust things. Let's talk about carbs for a little bit because this is the demon. Every carbs get the bad name, man. They get a real bad name, but carbs at the end of the day, primary fuel source. So they're stored as glycogen in the muscle and liver tissue. What glycogen does, it's going to fuel your strength sessions. It's going to fuel your speed work. It's going to fuel your high intensity intervals. It's going to fuel long distance endurance efforts. So when I hear we're going to say, nah, I don't eat carbs. Like I'm trying to lose weight. I don't eat carbs. I'm like, oh, you're going to be gassed, bro. It's not good. When glycogen is full, your output tends to feel good. You tend to feel strong. And I was terrified of carbs when I first lost weight. Back in the way back when, I was terrified because I thought that was the driver, and it couldn't be further from the truth. When I started to increase in carbs, saw body composition change, felt a lot better, and just got stronger in a good period of time, and just wasn't tired anymore, which is nice. The glycogen goes low, your power is going to decrease, effort's going to decrease. Everybody's favorite buzzwords this year, cortisol. Cortisol is going to go up if you go too low on the carbs. Recovery tends to slow down. And like chronic low carb intake mixed with high training is almost always going to lead to some kind of plateau, whether it's weight loss or just performance. And that's where I don't want to see anybody ever not perform. I gassed out at mile 15 of my marathon and couldn't finish. Heck no, that's not fun. And carbs are not inherently fattening. Don't get it twisted. Excess calories tend to drive fat gain, not the carbs alone, but carbs break down into glucose. That is stored as glycogen if needed. Carb timing is very important as your intensity increases. I think 90% runners on the call, like you start thinking about all right, I got to take in my goo at the first hour and then every 30 minutes after. So I'm not gassing out. So I don't run out of energy. Carb timing, very important. I drink a pre-workout protein shake with fast digesting carbs every single morning. It's got 20 grams of carbs in it, and that's a half serving. And then after my workout, I drink 40 grams of carbs with protein as well, straight up just to refill the stores because I have a little different calorie need as well. So mine's got to be a little higher. Um, let's see. If you get enough carbs, training output should be good. It's going to fuel you up. Carbs after training going to help the repair process rebuild. High fiber carbs, good for digestion, good for energy and being stable. Low fiber, those are the ones you're thinking about during runs. So a goo, it's like a fast digesting sugar. Any kind of gels that you're taking, they're low fibrous. They don't have to be digested. They go in. We take them because they're fast absorbing. They go in quick. The goal, not low or high carb. It's matching the carbs to the workload, if that makes sense. I was always angry, LOL. I needed it. I missed that part. Biggest thing with plant-based protein source, make sure it's a complete protein. Very hard to do with a lot of plant-based sources to get a complete protein with all amino acids. A lot harder to do. What would you consider long runs where you, as a trainer, would recommend we add more carbs for the day? Anything over an hour. So when I'm figuring out activity levels, I look at the baseline about an hour after the workout. That's when we're starting moving into that extra load. And it's about 30 to 60 grams per hour. And I give a big range there, 30 to 60 grams. If you take in 30 grams and you feel great, why go to 60? Why add 30 more grams for 120 more calories to your day that you might not be burning? Suggestions for refueling if your appetite decreases after workouts. So that's tricky. That is tricky because another buzzword right now, GLP-1. GLP-1 is naturally produced in the body by the body during hard exercise sessions. So some people can run a marathon and not be hungry at all because their body pumps out a little more GLP-1. Now, it's a lot different than taking a dose of a GLP-1 and taking an injection. It's a lot different, but some people pump out a little more of that naturally. So the appetite tends to go down. I would look at liquid. Look at liquid calories, something that can go down easy and is not gonna, and then sip on it. Sip a little bit of the protein as you walk out of the gym, sip a little bit after, and just keep going. Even then, scrambled eggs I would go protein smoothie because I feel the scrambled eggs could be pretty filling for people. Let's see. A lot of different types of carbs here. So fruits and veggies, we just talked about that. Good. Grains and starches, good. The fast carbs around training, the reason carbs get demonized is because all our sugar stuff and our Snickers bars and our Reese's peanut butter cups, very high carbs, birthday cake, high carb, cookies, high carb, and they're not the devil, just enjoy them in moderation. So, have the whole food so you get fiber, sustained energy through the day, fast carbs around the workouts. And I think alignment matters more than elimination. I got, what did I get? We got, I don't know. She bought me some. I'm a Reese's peanut butter cup fiend. That's my go-to. And she bought me a couple of those. And it wasn't Valentine's. I didn't break into that box yet. I don't know what she got me, the Reese's peanut butter cups. And it may have been Christmas tree ones. And I had a couple of them after Christmas, through the Dopey week. And then she saw the bag was sitting there and she just tossed it. And she was like, all right, let's get these out because I know he's getting focused, especially. I don't like to go on the journey I don't like y'all to be on the journey unless I'm doing it. Reese's eggs are superior. Absolutely. They blow the cups out of the water. But I'm on my own journey as well while we do this. These things help me stay accountable along the way. Reese's Pieces for running fuel. Hey, it's a fast digesting carb. I think everybody's got Reese's eggs have a better peanut butter to chocolate ratio. I think you got to find the fuel that works for you. If that fuel works for you and it aligns with your goals, then I'm okay with it. If you have 3 of them and you eat their entire rest of the bag throughout the day and you go over by 5,000 calories, that might not be in alignment. Kim got me on the nerd clusters during Dopey, and I was just down in those. I shouldn't make you peanut butter cup French macaroons after the challenge. You absolutely should, Laura, and I don't know why you're waiting until after the challenge. I'll see you at Princess next week, I'm sure. Don't be bringing macarons to Princess. They get all soggy. Let's
Tom,
check. Yes.
Have you tried the Nerd Clusters with like the Gushers middle?
No, Kim, add that to the grocery list.
Game changer if you fuel with Nerd Clusters. 15 miles this weekend and on point.
Oh, that is what we have, apparently. They were good. They were good. Yeah, I'll go back to fueling, and I think I probably get a lot of because we were talking about carbs and glycogen and fueling. I think this comes in point, but a lot of people are like, what do I fuel with on a half marathon? And this one, I'm glad she's on here tonight because she always tries to get me to eat something on the way to the race, on the way to the half marathons, and I very, very rarely put anything in my system before a half marathon. Full marathon, different story. I need to get fuel, but I'm somebody who actually has found that I personally run a half marathon better if I run it faster or run it fasted. With that, the reasoning is the reason I'm able to do that. Again, I have 120-ish pounds of muscle on my body, glycogen in the muscle, so I've got deeper fuel stores my body can tap into versus somebody who just weighs 110 pounds. That person's going to need quicker fuel to be able to tap into. My body can kind of tap into some energy reserves. So again, this all goes to say everybody is different. We're all different beasts, different humans. Let's talk a little bit about fats. Fats are one biologically essential. This the 90s, was it 90s 2000s? No, it was definitely not 2000s. 90s, maybe late 80s, where low fat was the big craze. That's crazy to me. Fats are great for hormone production, brain function, cell membrane integrity, fat soluble vitamins. So if you don't take in any fats and you're taking in a fat soluble vitamin, what happens then, Kim Story?
Your absorption is pretty much zero of
Absorption
that.
zero.
You're pretty much taking them for nothing. For reference, for everybody who doesn't know, A, D, E, and K are going to be your fat soluble vitamins. So especially females, as we support osteoporosis or bone health, definitely need to make sure if you're taking vitamin D, you're accompanying with adequate fat intake.
I was taking my vitamin D in the morning, and I know these things. It was my routine, taking my vitamin D in the morning with my coffee before my workout. I had my pre-workout protein and carb, no fats in the mix. That's a vitamin when I was like, oh my God, these fat soluble, I just shifted it. I shifted it to have it with some fattier food later in the day, but not too late because you don't want to have too much vitamin D later in the day. Um, Real quick, Todd, you live dangerously having Lenny and Larry's cookies before Disneyland half. Those are loaded with fiber, bro. Those are loaded with fiber, and I'll leave it at that. But I'm not supposed to have those in my house, otherwise we get in trouble. Dale, if Dale's on here, Dale knows what I'm talking about. Um, Low fat diets, testosterone and estrogen production are going to be at risk, which you don't want those numbers to go out of whack. Fat slows digestion with things, going to stabilize blood sugar. Another one that increases satiety, so that fullness feeling. Um, People tend to reduce fat a little too aggressively. Too aggressively. I like to stay in the 30 to 35% range, starting at 35, maybe going down to 30 if we need to. But if the hormones are feeling out of balance, why a lot of people have asked why are my fat grams lower than my protein and carbs, but the percentages are similar. Fat contains 9 calories per gram. Protein and carbs, 4 calories per gram. So it's more calorically dense. More calorically dense. So that's why that fat number tends to be lower. You can get your unsaturated fats from olive oil, nuts, seeds, avocado, fatty fish. Fatty fish, great for the cardiovascular health, like salmon. Saturated fats, moderation and fine. Extremes, I don't like extremes in either direction, but the goal should be sufficient fat, not too much, not minimal. Bye, Bob. Tell everybody I said hello. Send my love. See if he actually sends my love. When Lauren, let's see. Now, how do we find the balance? Going to my notes in and out. So try to think of them this way. Protein, it's a structure and pair. Carbs, fueling and performance. Fats gonna regulate the hormones. I just dialed it down. If you remove one entirely, you're gonna be imbalanced. That's why I'm a big fan of just distributing them equally, spreading them out, and trying to have them match the goal. Everybody's a little different on that goal. Now we're going to talk about, I talked about this a little bit before. I'm definitely going over tonight. Hopefully nobody's got anywhere to be. If you do, you can catch the rest on the replay. And am I looking for cooking oil subs? Not yet. Got to run. I'll catch the replay. Bye, Heather. Maintenance. So maintenance is, I'm not going to go up or down on the scale. Not going up, not going down. I don't know why I have that weird line across my thing there, but I'm going to stay on track. That's if we want performance goals, we want stability. I think maintenance is a powerful place to go every once in a while. Go back into maintenance. And I've got a few people where we're almost at their end goal and they're terrified of going back to maintenance. So it's just like, okay, you got down to 120 pounds. We're going to go right back up. We're going to go calories up by about 100, 200, 250 and work our way up to 500. And the end goal there is if we don't gain weight as going back up, we successfully found maintenance and we're in a good spot for the body to heal, recover, and also get set for that next cut, which is cutting. That is eating slightly less than you need to. So deficit should be moderate. You don't want to go too crazy. If we go too crazy, muscle breakdown happens, stress hormones go through the roof. We want to, anytime we're in a deficit, always pair it with strength training, pair it with a little higher protein. Make sure you're please getting enough good sleep. We want fat loss, not tissue loss. The weight loss on the scale can tell lies. If if your muscle mass stays up and the scale goes down, win. If the scale goes down and the muscle mass goes down, that at long term, not going to be a good thing. And then we got where Miss Kim is currently at. I should have just used a picture of you instead of this jacked guy all sweating. Eating slightly more than needed. So right now I started her at about a 250 bulk. 250 bulk. We're going to work up to 500. 500 for the month of March. If she lets me push it in April, I'm going to challenge her to continue to lift heavy as possible, and go to the point of I'm not force feeding, but I'm good. I can't eat anymore. I'm gonna get to that point because once her metabolism gets up to that level and she gets used to eating, gosh, what were we at? I think we're at, I'm not gonna pull her numbers up. I think we're somewhere around 2,000 calories for her right now. If you want to chime that into the chat, if you're still in here, let me know where I got you at currently. I've seen a lot of these numbers over the week, but if we can get her body used to 2,500 calories and she's putting on muscle during that, her metabolism is going to ramp up and it's going to be so easy for me to take calories away. I got her, okay, 2,100. It's going to be, and she's 113 pounds last weigh-in. Sorry, hun. I'm open on these calls. I'm going to share your journeys. She 113 pounds and she's at 2,100 calories. So we're gonna continue going up, and it's gonna be so easy to take a little bit of calories away here and there with a higher up metabolism. We're gonna be golden. It's gonna make it easy peasy on the deficit when we plan for that. So deficit, moderate, pair it with strength training, surplus. You definitely want proper training. I went to the gym with her first day of putting her in the bulk, and I was like, I'm gonna challenge you on the weights. We're gonna go heavy and be intentional about the lifting, but not reckless. Like we're gonna really push your weights to the next level because your body needs that stimulus if you're gonna gain muscle and not fat. So we have very, very intentional growth, which is controlled growth. Michelle said, "Me too, Kim." Let's see. Choosing the right phase. Fat loss, performance, recovery, stability. You cannot this is hard for me sometimes to even grasp but you cannot be in an aggressive fat loss phase and still expect to perform. So when I go into a fat loss phase, I've had to come to the realization, okay, my lifts are going to go down. I'm going to be a little weaker. I expect that now. When I go into a bulk into a game phase, I'm looking for performance. I feel better on the recovery when I'm at maintenance or bulk. So you want to pick a primary goal, which most people, fat loss is the goal right now because we're on the challenge, and I get that. But look also into your long-term plan. Hey, if I get down to my goal is 150, if I get there, where am I going next? Wouldn't just live there. I work back towards maintenance or try to put on some lean muscle mass. I'm trying to fly through right now because I want to respect everybody's time. Leave also time for questions. I drew all over the screen. I don't know what I did, where I got these marks here. I don't even know if y'all can see them. But common nutrition mistakes. Um, Underfueling while high training. We kind of talked about that. Don't be runners cutting calories a little too aggressive. Um, Ignoring the protein, cutting the carbs unnecessarily, and looking for too rapid results is a big thing. 1 to 2 pounds a week. I'd be happy if everybody was just on a steady 1 to 2 pounds, but don't expect it to be linear. Never expect it to go straight down. It's, I mean, I got to do check-ins with a bunch of people over the weekend. Valentine's Day was Saturday. So I saw steady downs all the way to Saturday. I saw a bump up Sunday, and then it started to trickle back down on Monday. We look like a roller coaster. We're going to have a peak, and then we're going to go for the valley, but then it's going to go up again, and then we want a deeper valley after. Otherwise, the coaster gets stuck in the valley. Ideally, what the progress should look like, in my opinion, we want to have improved performance. We want to have improved sleep, better energy, better recovery, improved training sessions. Like if you're fueling right and you start hitting PRs on your runs or PRs on your lift, we found a real good sweet spot. We got stable energy now. We're sleeping well and healthier relationship with food. I've talked to a lot of people on the way, and it's like, I got a terrible relationship with food. I appreciate everybody being candid with that and being willing to share that with somebody they just met. And because it's not easy. I, you could ask her when I binge. Like I grew up with a very poor relationship with food and just not good. I just wasn't pretty. It's taken me a while to get there, so I appreciate everybody being open with that. Remember the scale. I'm going to say this every flipping week, twice a week for some of y'all. The scale is one metric. It is not the only one. So if your waist size goes down and the scale doesn't go down, lean muscle putting on. You are putting on lean muscle. If the hip, if we lose inches in the hips and the scale doesn't go anywhere, you put on lean muscle somewhere else. Think of it like a sculpture. Think of it like a sculpture. That statue of David is somewhere under there, and you're working on chiseling them out. So he's under there, she's under there. You're building that muscle, and sometimes it's just waiting for I shouldn't use the term scale, but waiting for that scale to tip where it's like, okay, now I've built enough muscle where my metabolism's up and the fat's coming off, and I'm starting to see it show, and that's fantastic. How many of you, I mean, would it be a win if the scale at the end of 6 weeks, the scale didn't move one bit, but you got your first PR in 2 years, you crossed the finish line that you failed at, and failure's okay. Don't be afraid of the word failure. We fail so we can grow. How would you feel if the scale didn't move, but your performance improved? Jared said absolutely. He said sign me up. He said absolutely. 100. April said 100. I like it. I like it. He said that's his goal anyways. Your scale might go up. I'm trying to get you jacked, bro. My weight stayed the same, but the performance improved and body confidence, I'm okay with that. That was my 2025 year. Still took getting over the scale, but a win. I say yes, but I would still be irritated. I need to see the scale move. If the body composition change happens, that tends to get people a little more. We'll be happy, but would still like, I should have done better. Don't ever judge yourself. You shouldn't do what you can when you can, and then adapt and adjust. It would annoy me, but I'm learning to retrain the mental part of my brain. It's okay. There's no wrong answers here. I just want to keep up with this high energy child. Talking to me, I chase a Pomeranian around all day in my spare time. Scale went up, but I feel like I'm good on my runs and I have 5 hour marathon goal. Hey, I'm gonna go adjust your calories now. But yes, I have a hard relationship with scale. A lot of people do have a hard relationship with scale. I had to be, I when I first got you, I had to be 190 pounds for the longest time. I feel phenomenal at 215 pounds this morning. We went back to chia seeds. And it's okay. There's no wrong answer. That just helps me work with you better. Anyone take chia seeds? What do you think of it? Oh, they're having a chat about chia seeds. It's easier for us to give others grace than very powerful words. It's easier for us to give others grace than to give ourselves grace. I'm my harshest critic. I'm my harshest critic. You can ask her. I will look. I'll look in. I'm like, no, I got to get back. I got to get in the gym. Like, no effing around. I got to be on track today. I haven't seen 215 since I was 40. I'm coming for 215. Took me 2 months and a lot of education from this program to finally figure out my macros. We're gonna get learning process, Shauna. So I hit the final takeaways. I'll leave some time. But I finish exactly. I gotta make the next one shorter. I gotta make the next slide so shorter. I geek out on this stuff. I'll leave time for questions, but calories at the end of the day drives change. I've talked to a bunch of you. There's a hierarchy. Calories should always be number one. If calories in are less than calories out, we should be moving the right direction. Did I say that in the right order? If we're burning more than we're taking in, the scale should start moving in the right direction. After that, protein on that hierarchy should be the next goal. Carbs and fats. If I know everybody's concerned about hitting the bars and filling them all yellow so you get the points. If you ate a little too much fats and you went a little too low, went lower on the carbs, but the calories still in line, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that because then that'll tell me, okay, the scale should be moving in the right direction if we found your personal correct numbers. So we adjust and adapt, adjust and adapt. The scale matters less if I can look in the mirror and am proud of how I look. If you're not proud yet, we're gonna make you proud. That's the goal. That's the end goal. Progress, consistency, fuel for your training in life. Keep the protein foundation. Let's stop sharing. All right, let's chat. Let's chat. I'm gonna hang out. Bye, customized people. I'm gonna hang out for a minute. If anybody else has questions, hang out. Let me just adjust my screen so I can see all the chats. Chat's coming in fast.
Thoughts on the like protein ice cream like Halo and those? Fan, not a fan?
Huh?
You know, like the Halo Top, like the high protein ice cream, like what are your thoughts on those?
I didn't get into them.
I'm thinking this broccoli is it right now.
I didn't get into them because, and if anybody's got to check out, you're not required to hang. I'm just going to answer questions for a little bit, hang out. I never got into them, Michelle. I went to, they used to have it in Orlando. It's called the Europa. It's like a bodybuilding competition slash expo, and they don't do it anymore here. And I always went to these things and I hung out at the very last day because none of these companies want to pay to ship everything back to their warehouse. So I would just stock up. They'd be willing to sell all their extra stuff for dirt cheap. So I ended up buying like this was when Halo Top first came out. I got like probably 50 little things of Halo Top and I just never ate them. I didn't enjoy them. You give me Ben and
Uh,
Jerry's though, I will mess up some Ben and Jerry's.
The
the
strawberry Halo Top is legitimately tasty. So sorry.
I'll try it
no,
again.
no.
I'll try it again. I'm open to anything. We'll get some Halo Top. Kim, go visit Publix this weekend.
The thing about Halo Top from just a science perspective and like thinking about the formulation of it. So it's going to be icier because the fat content is lower. So when you actually think about how you put together an ice cream, it's going to be icier. So things like Yasso that are going to be more yogurt based are probably going to be a little bit more palatable to people. So that's another option. But as a protein source, it's utilizing a complete protein. So you're good there. Like it's not giving you crap protein. But just from a formulation perspective, it's a little icier, not as creamy, literally creamy.
All right. I love
No,
having
like
a food scientist here.
I actually really, really enjoy the way the strawberry one tastes. And I'm like, they tell you, oh, if you eat the whole thing, it's only like X amount of calories. Like, and it's actually quite tasty. So how bad is it if you eat the whole thing? Like, let's be real.
Yeah, and the flavors they use, I'll give them credit. Like the actual like flavors they use are a solid formulation. They aren't super artificial, which is positive.
I like it. I like having you
Also, I'm
on.
sorry for these for I'm literally geeking out. This is my passion. I love what I do and I love being able to talk about it. So I apologize.
I like it.
No,
Tasha said,
I'm
"How and when will we adjust macros for Princess Weekend?" Tasha, I'll talk with you a little bit on the Are you gonna be on the Thursday call? I don't know if she's still in here, but I will probably keep your calories where they're at and say go up on Friday and Saturday for Princess. So I don't think we need to do a full revamp from where your calories currently are at. I think we just need to increase a little bit for day before, day of, depending on which yeah, increase. I wouldn't worry about increasing for the 5K, but increase that day of 5K, 10K, and half, build up a little bit. And also, you're gonna be at Disney. Just enjoy yourself and forget about your calories, Tasha. Enjoy it. You're on vacation. So, what if you are always signed up for your next race? Your calorie intake will always be up slightly. That's my job to find that delicate balance where we can get that scale moving in the right direction, but also make sure you're fueled. And that's where I might look at, now that we got Dopey out of the equation, Charlotte, I might mix some things up and we'll chat about it. I think I got you on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. We'll kind of chat about my ideas for next steps on your little journey. Danielle, chia seed side chat has popped off. Kim, start a chia seed side chat group somewhere. Bethany has a funny training story. You could share that, Bethany, if you didn't leave.
I got a good, yeah. I told you last week on the call, like I'm not going to start anything new for Princess. Remember we were talking about creatine or whatever? So I was 45 the other day. So I'm like, I'm going to run outside. Well, that's new. And I don't know if it was my running outside or my workout the other day, which wasn't very new. Like I added like the leg press with the band. I am so sore today. I haven't been sore in 3 months. And I'm like, I got Princess in a week and a half. What is wrong with me? So I'm like, nothing new before Princess. And I ran outside and I added one new exercise. And here we go. Story of my life.
I'm sorry.
I don't really care. It's actually kind of nice. It's kind of nice, but I was going to ask you if you can add that into like when you talk about the macros on Thursday for Princess, kind of like what we should be doing for our workouts like between now and like my flight's on Wednesday. So Wednesday morning will be like my last workout.
I have to adjust your calendar for Princess.
Okay.
Legs light for the rest of the week. You missed the memo on message me about Princess because that's how I've been using as my checklist.
Oh, yeah. There's so many chats. I cannot keep up. Like I'll be like away from my phone for like 5 minutes and there's like 82 messages and I'm like,
I get it.
I can't keep up.
I get it.
So I'll message you though.
I won't
I'll
be there
message
for
you
legs.
tonight.
I'll adjust for you.
Okay.
Dale said it's 75 is a real good price for a DEXA scan. Usually they're about $1.50 to $1.25 around here. Real good price. Okay, check. Thank you. I love the frozen Greek yogurt bars. Kim loves the Yasso. When I hear the food, I estimate on some of the sizes or servings. Who likes and uses a food scale? I use a food scale. Ninja Creamy all the way. Sue loves it. Let's see. Yes. I'll be there on Thursday. What if we have Pirate to Princess? Oh, you crazy. Fuel up for that. You know what to do on that. What protein powder you recommend? Kim's the first form girl. Kim takes the first form protein. Have a great night. Churros, Dole Whip. Guilty. Always have a race on the horizon. Strength questions, but not nutrition at the moment. Going to customize. See y'all later. Flight is Wednesday too. Driving down again. I missed the memo too. Driving on Wednesday. I missed it also. Yes. Send me Princess and I'll adjust your workouts. Let me know if you're doing Princess. I will adjust. I'm doing is sitting in a bachelor pad. Can't find anything in this house. Who keeps pots and pans in the oven? Weird people. Weird people do. My personal favorite from a formulation perspective is First Form. I knew she was going to say that. Ooh, we got all the questions. Anybody else got questions tonight? Bob's been quiet. He's focused. He's getting ready for dead last start with me next week.
No, I got my grandson keeps running in and out of the room. I didn't want to keep the speaker on.
All right.
No, I'm good. I felt good at the gym the other day. I actually took today off too.
You took a day off?
I did.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm gonna put probably 300 on the squat.
I love it. Keep me posted how it goes.
Yeah.
What about the powder carbs for pre-workout? I'll share a link to both of them and the protein that I take. I'll always be transparent. I have taken this brand for 7 years. I get like 72 cents if you buy through the link, but I take, you can ask Kim, the whole pantry is full. I love their stuff. And I do recommend, I enjoy almost all their products. Made in the US, clean stuff. So that's kind of my big thing with protein powders is you hear just nightmare stories. But I'll share the link for that. I've heard about creatine. We're going to talk about creatine next week. Next week is all supplement talk. Next week's all supplements. Creatine will be the first one I cover. All right. I'm going to share those links in the chat. I'm going to get this replay going for those that didn't hang out with us tonight. Hopefully you learned something. If not, send me questions. Let's keep kicking butt. See y'all.
Thanks. Good night.
All right.